Back in like the 50s or the 60s, they had a whole movement going on. I might have the decades mixed up. Y'all do the research. But they started saying, yo, the children are eating paint chips. And because there's lead in the paint, we need to start removing all lead paint from now on. Right? Because I know you've heard about lead paint, right? Yeah, no more lead paint. Why? Because the babies is eating paint chips. In your lifetime, have you ever seen any kid eat paint chips before?
No.
You? Any paint chips? No? Okay. You know, anytime you want somebody to do something without thinking, just say it's hurting the children. You know what I'm saying? Why would they want to remove lead paint from the homes?
Because
Here we go.
Of
Come on.
technology, because of it blocks radiation.
There we go.
It blocks radiation.
Look at them neurons firing. Superman is all powerful. But hey, put that kryptonite in the lead box, he won't know it's there. So how else am I gonna get frequencies, 5G and all that stuff to permeate through your walls and through your home, affecting you so I could see through your house and see your body and connect with you as a network?
Who's seeing through your walls? Who's listening to you? Who's censoring you? What's going on? It's funny how most conspiracy theories turn out to be true. Did you know 6G is going to be using people as antennas? That's a fact. It's everywhere in the news. Can't wait for that. Or this synthetic beef. Or the bugs. Or everything else that's going on. The future is looking pretty good, but there might be something to this whole paint lead theory. Why would they ban the paint and blame the children? Oh, it's because they're eating the paint chips. They can't afford the potato chips anymore, so they're eating the paint chips. We gotta stop them. Let's be sure to put lead in their pipes, though. So there must be something to it, right? And they're parking all of these cell towers right next to you. No lead paint. They're saying it's safe and effective. Like the vaccines. You know what that means, right? It's there to kill you. Just like everything else they approve with the FDA. Even the baby powder, the Band-Aids, the tap water, everything is out to get you. And it's approved by our government, funded by our tax money. Let's not even talk about what's in the food. Our food is illegal in most other countries, and it's approved. Look at the planes. They're just basically spraying us like bugs. Some of them are falling straight out of the air. Boeing is saying it's safe and effective. So there must be something going on with the lead, right? And what we're learning now is that they've been experimenting with radiation weapons since the 1950s. Hardcore weapons. And they were like, this is the perfect weapon. Most of the beams you can't see it. Some of the beams you can see in the visible spectrum, but most of the EMF spectrum is invisible. That means whatever beam they project at that frequency, like turning the radio dial, you can't see it, but it can definitely kill you. They figured this out in the 1950s, and they're like, this is the perfect weapon, the heart attack gun, you name it. And during the Cold War, both sides were deploying these weapons massively. Blasting embassies, it was spy games. Well, fast forward 50 years later. These people in the government that are censoring you, They're like, this is the perfect social credit score system. Oh, you voting Trump? You don't like Pride Month? You don't like open borders? You're a pureblood, you don't like the vaccines, right? Well, let's just add up these points. Oh, there we go. And you know, the people that roll out this software into the cell towers, because it's happening, you know, they're just enjoying their lives. They don't even have to think about it. It's the big brother now that is in control. The AI. We've got all sorts of videos of people being taken out by mysterious weapons. Not just like the vaccine people are dropping dead. These people are flailing around, putting up their arms, trying to defend themselves, looking at the source. This guy is looking at the source, then he gets electrocuted. They've rolled out this software package to every country. They're selling it to every third world dictator, Western world government. Oh, do your people not like what you're saying on TV? Try out our new software package. Plug and play. Upload it to your network, and there goes the dissenters. There goes the protesters. Just like that. It's quick and easy. Invisible, plausible deniability. Not only does it work with cell towers, but with cell phones and smart meters and the new cars. You think those little radar pads are there to help you park as these new cars connect to the internet? The truth is going to scare you, ladies and gentlemen. While we were doom scrolling from crisis to crisis, they were quietly rolling out this new death grid and the software. And now every city is basically a kill box. And if you're on the red list, if you've been flagged by Fakebook, ScrewTube, Twitter for being a truther, guess what? You're on the list. This is being confirmed all around the internet. This is what people are waking up to. And so they're going to be playing the same song and dance on the television as people drop dead suddenly and mysteriously. And everybody thinks it's the vaccines. And even the people being affected are going to think it's the vaccines. But sooner or later, people are going to figure out, and they are figuring out, that they're getting hit with energy weapons. And this is why you have to pay attention. If you've been feeling off since the rollout of 5G, if you've been experiencing chronic fatigue, recurring headaches, heart palpitations, pain not associated with an injury, ringing in the ears, you're being targeted by this system. There's a fight going on right now. People are taking down the ULEZ cameras, burning down death towers, but it's still not enough. And until all the 5G is gone, people are going to have to protect themselves. If you've been feeling the symptoms of 5G, you're not alone. We're raising awareness on this issue because it's being censored. The system doesn't want you to know. The more people that know, the better. So that they can know that what's happening to them is not natural, but synthetic. And this system just follows you around like cell phone coverage, mimicking the stages of a disease. And they can basically mimic just about any disease, including cancers, with this technology. It's been totally weaponized. These cell towers are a Trojan horse system. And if you're unaware, you're going to be a victim. At first, the bees began to die. Then the birds began to die. Then people began to die. They rolled out the 5G and people started getting sick. The television was like, oh, it's a virus. Come get your vaccine. And then people started thinking it was The vaccine. Well, yeah, the vaccine is definitely part of it. But it started with the 5G. People need to be aware. That's why we continue to recommend this book, Transhuman Genocide, so that you can understand exactly just how bad it is. This book not only talks about the weapons that are being used, the grid, but also how to protect yourself through evasion and how to build armor and safe rooms with materials that will give you military grade protection from these military grade weapons. Paint is never going to be enough, but it's enough of a problem that they don't want people to have it, and they want to scare everybody thinking, ooh, lead is bad, don't touch it. They don't want people protecting themselves. They don't want people to understand what's going on. That's why they fluoridate you. They don't want people to know how all of this works. What you'll discover is that shielding materials have a sweet spot of protection. They protect against a certain frequency range, but everything else is wide open. And some shielding materials can resonate and act like a parasitic antenna, making things worse. There are other considerations in terms of shielding and armor. The bottom line is that mylar, aluminum foil, EMF fabrics, even grounded, is not enough. Lead paint is not enough. EMF paint is not enough. People will spend like $1,000 doing a room with with EMF paint that has no lead, of course. And, the people that are testing it out, they're like, this thing doesn't even pass a connectivity test, meaning that it can't even ground the current to your ground. So the percentage of shielding particulates in the paint is so low, it's not even conductive. It can't protect you. It gives you this false sense of protection. And that's basically what everything that's available out there is, a false sense of protection. That's why this book is so crucial, because it gives you the right strategies from the top minds in electromagnetism and has been tested by those that are fighting this system, that are being targeted by these weapons. Of course, all of this has come into the congressional hearings. And they're like, oh, it's the Russians. And then the ODNI report says, nope, it's not the Russians. It's the 5G. They want to keep playing like they don't know what it is because they don't want people knowing what it is. If this comes out, imagine the hysteria. All of these cell towers have got to go. Think of the telecom industry. It'll be shattered just like the vaccine industry. That's why you need to like and share. That's why you need to get this information out there. And it's also why people need to read this book. There's a Kindle version for only $10. There's the paperback versions, which are like $30. Books like this can run over $1,000, and it's mostly math equations and doesn't tell you really how to survive modern day energy weapons. They're basically useless for $1,000. This book is the goods for $30. Not getting this book is basically suicide, considering what's going on, especially if you've been red listed by this system. And it's beyond clever, making you think it's natural causes. You won't feel the vibrations unless you keep your hand there for a good minute or so. But if you let this thing progress unchecked, it will kill you. Everybody out there. And it's only going to get worse. And all they got to do is crank up the radiation, then just say, oh, we got another virus. It's too easy. Don't make it easy for them. Protect yourselves. Body armor is relatively cheap to make. You want to get all the right materials. Safe rooms are a little more expensive, but they can be built over time, a worthwhile investment. Some of the shielding materials you shouldn't put on your skin. You know, a lot of the EMF fabrics, people discover if they put it on their skin, it gets itchy. You basically have to embed it in other materials, like a layer of normal fabric and then the EMF fabric for clothing. But it takes more than fabric to survive. And trying to learn all of this on the fly as you're being attacked by energy weapons is basically impossible. It's better to have this stuff and not need it than need it and not have it. This book aims to save lives. This book is worth hundreds of dollars per copy, easy. We've made it as cheap as possible so that people can understand. Check it out. Read the free sample on Amazon. You got 30 days to send it back if you don't like it. Given what's coming and what's out there, not understanding this technology is perhaps the last mistake you'll ever make. We'll leave it there for this broadcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Until the next time, if you're listening to this, oh yeah, you can get the book on Amazon. Some people were saying in the audience. You can get it on Amazon or on Patreon. Transhuman Genocide. Until the next time, if you're listening to this, you are the Resistance.